Allocation drops as federal government, states and local government councils share 715 billion naira. Nigeria's revenue from railway drops to 5.5 billion despite increase in passengers. Plus, oil slips as dollar strengthens. Demand concerns weigh. This is Business Express on the network service of the NTA, and we are reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. I am Benny Adams, your guide. Good to have you join us at this time. It is time to keep you up to speed with happenings around the world of business. I will start by telling you that the federal government is to spend more than 1.5 trillion naira on the construction of 11 federal roads across the country under Phase 2 of the NNPC tax credit scheme. And the Federal Executive Council approved proposal to complete ongoing process aimed at updating the nation's labor laws in alignment with international practices. Jide Onifade reports on these and other decisions taken at the Federal Executive Council meeting.
Well, so much to do and so much to say. It was a marathon meeting that lasted for almost 6 hours. And after the meeting, 6 ministers, led by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, briefed the press on the various approvals by the Federal Executive Council.
So the balance of that 1.9...
Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, opens the floor on the firm memoranda he presented to the Council, and which were approved.
Between that January and now, which has now been
among them is the augmentation of an existing contract in the sum of 6.972 billion naira.
The fourth and final one is the approval for the construction and rehabilitation of 11 federal roads, totaling 737.242 kilometers in the sum of 535 billion, 154 million, 247 million, 224 naira and 48 kobo.
Other ministers, Rauf Aregbesola, Interior, and Chris Ngige, Labour and Productivity, also speak on the memos they presented to the Council. Minister Chris Ngige speaks on the approval of the Council to commence steps towards updating labor laws.
Approved the grant of Nigerian citizenship by naturalization to 317 applicants, and Nigerian citizenship by registration to 68 applicants who have met all the constitutional and administrative requirements for the grant of the Nigerian citizenship. Council approved the full business case for a project on national fire detection and alarm system, incorporating life safety systems, networking, monitoring, and dispatching at real time. And this will be in public-private partnership arrangement with OIST Life Safety System Limited.
We did what we call social dialogue and validation meeting tripartite in nature with the trade unions, TUC and Nigeria Labour Congress, and the Employers Association, NECA, and the rest of them all. So we agreed that this should be the final product. We sent to council, and that has been approved for us to continue the process so that we can align properly with international conventions and statutes on labor matters.
Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Clem Agba, and his education counterpart, Goodluck Opia, also speak on some of the approvals by the council.
First one, which is the approval for the award of contract for the procurement of one number Cessna Caravan aircraft, AX208B, by the Nigerian Customs, and it's in the sum of 3,447,442,710 naira, inclusive of 7.5% VAT.
The Federal Minister of Education presented two executive memos, and the two of them were passed. First is the memo for the award of contract for the construction and furnishing of Senate building 4 suspended floors for the Federal University of Health Sciences, Ila-Orogun in Osun State. The second memo was for award of contract for the purchase of 13 number ambulances with inbuilt emergency medical facilities for selected Federal Unity Colleges by the Federal Minister of Education.
The meeting was chaired by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in the State House, Jide Onifade.
And still talking about the economy, the Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAC, has shared a total sum of 714.629 billion naira March 2023 Federation account revenue to the federal government, state and local government councils. This was contained in a communique issued at the end of the Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting for April 2023. The communique stated that from the total distributable revenue of 714.629 billion naira, the Federation account received 276.145 billion, the state received 232.129 billion, and the local government councils received 171.257 billion. A total sum of 35.102 billion was shared to the relevant states as 13% derivation revenue. The 714.629 billion total distributable revenue comprised distributable statutory revenue of 497.448 billion, distributable value-added tax revenue of 202.693 billion, and electronic money transfer levy of 14.488 billion. In March 2023, the total deductions for cost of collection was 31.355 billion, and total deductions for transfers, refunds, and consultancy fees was 126.567 billion. And revenue generated by the federal government from rail transportation dropped to 5.57 billion naira, despite the increase in the number of passengers in 2022. The National Bureau of Statistics disclosed this in its latest railway report published on its website on Wednesday. The National Bureau of Statistics disclosed this. It says on its website that the figure, according to the agency, was 460 million, lower than 6.03 billion generated from rail transportation in 2021. A breakdown of the revenue showed that in the first quarter of 2022, the government generated 2.21 billion naira from the sector and 734.5 million in the second quarter. The NBS also said the number of rail passengers increased by 15% from 2,714.458 in 2021 to 3.212 million last year. The volume of goods as well as cargo, however, dropped from 442,000 to 438 in 2022 to 180,587 in 2022. In the third quarter, the rail transportation generated 934.91 and 1.69 billion in the last quarter. The NBS also says the number of rail passengers increased by 15% from that number last year. And moving on. Oil. It is an agrarian settlement with large deposits of oil and gas untapped for decades now, and the area is listed among oil-producing communities in Nigeria. That is the story of Ebanyi, a community in Obi local government area of Nasarawa State, where Aliu Tijani brings us details of the 12-year journey in search of oil in the state.
A long journey in search of oil and gas along the Benue Trough, the hydrocarbon discovered in Nasarawa State, with more than 90% quantity of the product found. Ebenyi in Obi local government area is the choice destination for the drilling of the first oil well in the state.
Our foreparents did not envisage something like this on the ground, and since we were born, we never knew there was something like this. So we express our appreciation and gratitude to Mr. President for giving the general direction for this drilling to take place in our community.
1 week after the inauguration of Ebenyi A oil well by President Muhammadu Buhari, excitement among the people of the area lingers with hopes of economic prosperity.
To help to reduce youth restiveness, employment will be common. Those youth that are not privileged to go to school will be given a kind of work.
Beyond the discovery is the issue of exploration, which NNPC Limited promises speedy process. This, stakeholders believe, can be guaranteed in a peaceful atmosphere, which the community has greater role to play.
I'm happy that the consequent positive outcomes of these drilling campaigns will lead to greater prosperity for our people and especially enhance overall energy security for our country.
I call on our host communities to see this project as your own.
We understand the responsibility that comes with exploring and exploiting natural resources, and we are committed to doing so in a way that best benefits our country and its people.
For Ebenyi community, exploration is a done deal, but like Oliver Twist, the people of Nasarawa State want investors to take advantage of other sites in the state with large crude oil deposit for exploration. Aliu Tijani.
Still on energy, oil prices were down in Asia this morning as trade of U.S. dollar strengthened on rate hike expectations, and after recent economic data from the U.S. and China did not do enough to encourage expectations that demand will improve. The Brent crude futures lost 78 cents to trade at $82.34 a barrel. The West Texas Intermediate crude futures dropped 92 cents to 1.20% to sell at $78.21 as of this morning. Both benchmarks declining for a second day after a 2% fall on Wednesday, and they are at their lowest since OPEC Plus announced its surprise production cut on April 2nd. Then let's see prices of other commodities in the global market. Now to food security. Are you in the know that Fura and Kunu, some drinks with roots among the Hausa and Fulani ethnic nationalities in northern Nigeria now enjoying patronage across Nigeria, are made from millet grain? Are you also in the know that there is an agency in Nigeria with the mandate to carry out research on the best variety of millet for both farming and consumption? This report is about the 3 new varieties of millet rich in nutritional value recently unveiled by the Lake Chad Research Institute in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Umaru Kirawa takes it from here.
Fura, dambu or kunu are some of the commonest drinks in northern Nigeria that are consumed usually with milk, yogurt, honey or sugar, depending on the taste of the one consuming any.
What you see here at Bulunkutu Fura de Nono in Maiduguri is certainly a reflection of what you will see in most urban and rural centers across the entire northern part of Nigeria and even beyond, where Fura and Nono are sold by their vendors. Same with Kununzaki, that is also a household name in most families across Nigeria.
Lake Chad Research Institute, an agency of the federal government of Nigeria, established with the mandate for the genetic improvement of millet and other cereals in the country, recently developed and released 3 special varieties of millet to meet local and global demands.
We have 8 millet varieties, and the last 3 varieties which were released in January 2023, the Chakti, which is the one that is fortified with zinc and iron. We have the Bristol composite, which has genetic resistance to the devastating effects of quilla, but the last one is a very high yielding variety termed the LCICMV.
When you are producing to get 10 bags per hectare, using that one, you will be able to get 40 to 50 bags in a hectare.
The newly released seed varieties Chakti, Bristol Composite and Lake Chad Research Institute variety number 6, with their unique and promising qualities of increase in yield, enhanced nutritional value with iron and zinc, in addition to protection against attack by birds, is already in circulation as some farmers are happy with the development.
The new varieties of the millet seed are the best.
Farmers will just plant their millet. If it's serving breast, will just go and relax without hiring bird carers or grasshopper carers. So that means they save money, they save energy. About 90 million people will benefit from it globally.
Less than 3 months, the crop can grow and you harvest it. So it can conveniently be intercropped.
Today, high-yielding, pest-free and drought-resistant cereals have been unveiled by the Institute to the farming community locally and beyond for enhanced food security. In Maiduguri, Umaru Kirawa.
Thank you, Umaru, there. From one good news to another. Nigeria is now among the listed countries with dirtiest electricity grids in the world. The list, which was released by British think tank Ember in its 2023 Global Electricity Review, contains countries that have dirty electricity grids due to high carbon emissions from the electricity sector. According to the review, the global electric power sector is the biggest carbon emitter of all sectors, responsible for about 40% of total global energy-related carbon emissions. This information has also provided momentum for the country to continue to explore natural gas as a transition fuel and ensure more energy security for its growing population. Now, before we take a look at the stocks being traded today, it was another positive close for the equities market as investors gained 17.75 billion naira in midweek trade. The all-share index advanced by 0.08% to close 51,178.14 basis points, as equities capitalization also increased by 27.8 trillion naira. A sum of 1.27 billion securities worth 3.9 billion naira were traded in 3,505 deals. Transcap, Fidelity Bank, and Zenith Bank dominated the activity chart at the end of this session. Now let's take a look at the global market update.
European stock markets opened lower Thursday as investors continue to digest more corporate earnings. Stocks in Asia markets were mixed on Thursday as investors on Wall Street digest more earnings report from names like Netflix, IBM, and Morgan Stanley. Japan's Nikkei 225 gained 0.18% to end at 28,657.57, and the Topix marginally to end at 2,039.73 as Japan's trade deficit hit a record high of 21.7 trillion yen for its full fiscal year ending March. Hong Kong Hang Seng Index was also up marginally, reversing earlier gains, with the Hang Seng Tech Index gaining 0.1%, while mainland Chinese markets were also down, with the Shanghai Composites down 0.24%. U.S. stock futures were modestly lower on Thursday morning as investors appraised the latest batch of corporate earnings. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 31 points or 0.09%. S&P 500 futures shed 0.26%, and Nasdaq 100 futures also slipped 0.41%. For African markets, no figures yet as at the time of this report. Bosede Able, Business Express.
Thank you, Bosede, for that update. And on that note, we're at Business Express. For now, remember to send in your comments, observations, and suggestions. Also be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on NTA's channel. Business Express returns Friday at 3 p.m.